This time I'm going to call to order the June 15, 2022 Polygon Trailway Management Council meeting. Time is 3 o'clock. We'll pay our respects to the flag, and after that, Donnie, if you can lead us in invocation, please.
Dear God, thank you. Sorry.
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now,
Dear God, thank you that you have given us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and to use it wisely from now and into the future. Thank you for this beautiful day, for summer, for freedoms in which the American flag expresses every day. May us truly embrace it. And I just want to say a special prayer for Joe Young's health and for a speedy recovery. And in this we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Donnie. Okay, on to a roll call vote for the meeting. Secretary McDonald, can you call the roll, please?
Yes. Ed Brakefield.
Here.
Bruce Pearson.
Here.
Donnie Steele.
Here.
Aaron Watley.
Here.
Curtis Wright.
Here.
Jonathan Nold.
Here.
Mike McDonald, present. Allison Kemp excused. We have Joe Madore
Here.
representing. Thank you. And we have Trail Manager Linda Moran and Citizen Representative Kevin Green present.
Okay, we have a full quorum. That's awesome. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. Any changes to the agenda? Additions? If not, a motion is in order to approve the agenda. Any motion on the floor? Okay, motion by Councilor Madore. Need a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Nold to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion carries. On to the consent agenda. Item number 5, approval of the May 18, 2022 meeting minutes. Bills to be paid in the amount of $2,585.10 for May of 2022. The financial reports for May of 2022 and the trail manager report for June of 2022. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I'll make that motion,
Okay,
Chair,
Treasurer Steele?
to approve the consent agenda as submitted, including the payment of the bills of $2,585. And I want to thank our fill-in secretary, Mike McDonald, there he is, and Joe Ferrari doing the books.
Second.
Okay, motion by Treasurer Steele, second by Councilor Noel to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further questions? If not, Secretary McDonald, please call the roll on that.
A roll call for approval of the consent agenda, including the bills. Addison Township, Ed Brakefield,
Yes.
Bruce Pearson,
Yes.
Donnie Steele,
Yes.
Aaron Watley,
Yes.
Curtis Wright,
Yes.
Jonathan Nold,
Yes.
Mike McDonald, yes. Joe Madore.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. On to public comment. Any public comment? Would you like to speak? Okay, all right, we'll get to that on the agenda then, unless you want to speak on anything else. Okay. All right, we're moving on to the citizen rep report. Kevin, anything to let us know about?
The only comment I had today is I ran into Linda out at Lake George, working hard on the trail. So it was good to see her out there, and she had somebody else out there helping her mow. So
Do you get credit for that, Mike?
No, I stayed within the village limits today.
His passport's not good outside the village.
Okay. All right.
Probably had the air conditioner.
Okay, so with that, we know Linda was on the trail and doing her duty.
Doing the mowing.
Okay, moving on to unfinished business. The first item of unfinished business is the Paint Creek Bridge condition. And a continuation from last month, we discussed looking at getting a structural engineer to look at the condition of 2 bridges, from what I understand, and we did get a quote thanks to Councilor Watley here in our packet that Orchard Hills and McClyman OHM will just do a visual inspection, as I understand, for 2 bridges and 5 culverts. And when I looked at this, I thought the price was high in my mind. I don't know what the other councilors thought, but Councilor Watley, I'll let you take the floor and you tell us what your thoughts are.
It's pretty much in line from what we've had in the past.
Okay.
It's usually right about $1,500 per bridge, and so when we do the Paint Creek, we pay $1,500 a bridge. But Donnie had brought up a point about something in the MDNR bylaws that's requiring weight testing.
Well, no, it was just the manager's report that Nick Van Bloom wanted to be able to post the weight limit once we found it after we tested the bridge. And I hope that's not a requirement because Aaron said that will double the price to get that.
It's not a requirement, it's just a suggestion because when he and I were out there looking at these bridges and taking, looking at them basically, just a good knowledge, because we have a lot of heavy equipment with ITC coming out over our bridges. We've got, tree people, that sort of thing. It was a good suggestion, but I don't believe it's a requirement. I can check though, but he didn't indicate that it was paramount that we needed.
So the price is in line then, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean that the council is not able to go out for a different quote, but we've used our engineers for multiple years and they're familiar with our bridges that they've inspected in the past. And so we continue to contract with them.
Okay, and the other thought I had in this, they're gonna, 5 culverts, that includes, this 3,000 includes those?
Correct.
My other thought was, if they're all underwater, how are they going to inspect something underwater? Because Linda's faced that, and I would imagine these are the culverts that are in question, down by the Orion Township Hall, the new...
There's cameras that they use. I mean,
It's televised.
MDOT has cameras that they can send down into the culverts to see if the conditions, but I mean, they're not going to block them off, dry them out, and then take a look at them. If they're flowing and the ground isn't eroding, maybe they'll send a camera through there. I don't know.
Because right now it'll be 5 months before we see any results. Is that something that we can wait on? I mean, we've waited this long.
I was going to make one more comment.
Go ahead.
So as of right now, culverts are not required to be inspected, but there's some, what they believe is some bills that'll be passed to require culverts to be inspected every 3 years. So I asked them just to throw it in there. The price could go down if the bill goes out, or it's up to the council's discretion.
Well, just personally for me, I think it's a good idea because of the problems we've been having with the culvert being, flooding out Scripps Road, causing it to be closed down. So I think just for that reason alone, it sounds like it's prudent to go ahead and move forward with the estimate, I guess, now that I hear it, that it's in line. So, any other council comments on this? Go ahead, Councilor Medor.
She mentioned the ITC sharing the corridor, so their heavy equipment. Is there any way, if there's any requirements for that to be tested or certified for certain weights, that they could help bear some of that cost? Or is that not eligible with the agreement between the parties?
I can ask ITC. I mean, they're very amenable and they work well with us and we work well with them. I mean, we could ask.
Because I would assume what they have is much bigger than what you take over it.
Oh yeah, I mean, they take huge pieces of equipment across the bridges. So, we could ask.
It's in their best interest, I would assume, that they're not going to have a bridge fail when they're going over it.
Yeah, then our insurance will pay for it.
Secretary McDonald?
I'd like to make the motion to approve the bridge condition update from OHM for inspection services as detailed in their memorandum dated June 7th, 2022 at a cost not to exceed $3,000, and that's to be expensed to account 298-853-819.000 services professional. And based on the outcome of their inspection, conditionally, we may require a weight evaluation based on their recommendation.
Okay, motion on the floor from Secretary McDonald.
Second.
Second by Councilor Knoll. I have a comment. Is there any reason why we can't post the signs now? If we know there's this concern, why not just go ahead and...
But we don't know what weight they can take.
Just say no vehicles or no heavy
What
equipment?
you said last month, as far as the, you said you got the ITC vehicles, just like a county weight sign, something like that.
Well, we don't know what the weight, you can't, we'll have to professionally get the weight limit, but I would just say, no, almost have to say no vehicular traffic on the bridge or something.
Oh, I mean, we're posted no...
No truck traffic.
Yeah,
I would just say no
motorized.
truck traffic on the bridge. That would maybe settle it.
All right, so maybe put that on the August agenda. I mean, it's 2 months out, but that way there, we should have something between August and November, unless council has other...
Just a quick question. The bridge is in the center of roads. Is it feasible to put no vehicle traffic on the bridge where they would back out and go around?
No, these are in the trail quite a distance, and both these have no places really to back up and pull away. I mean...
So you gotta put the sign
On the trail.
So they don't get to that point.
Correct.
That's what I was after.
Yeah, and all of our crossovers have, no motorized vehicles. The only ones that do use motorized vehicles legally are ITC, fire, ambulance, that sort of thing, and also, myself, that sort of thing. Oh, and our fall cutter, Lynchfield uses his heavy equipment, so.
So council, do you want to move forward with the signs now or wait? Okay, we'll wait on those until we get further information back on that. And Linda, in the meantime, before we get to our motion, roll call, is it something you can get a cost estimate for? In the
For the
meantime?
signs? Yeah, I mean, they're $30, $40 a sign, it's not a big deal. So we would need 2 for each bridge, so we'd need 4. Now, do you want me to pursue ITC to help pay for this?
Doesn't hurt.
And then I will double check with Nick to make sure that it is a requirement or is not a requirement by the MDNR. And, okay.
Okay. All right, everybody clear on the motion to approve the OHM $3,000 estimate? Okay, with that, Secretary McDonald, if you could call the roll, please, and Councilor Kemp has arrived.
I've made a note of that. For approval of the OHM inspection services, Bruce Pearson,
Yes.
Donnie Steele,
Yes.
Aaron Watley,
Yes.
Curtis Wright,
Yes.
Jonathan Nold,
Yes.
Mike McDonald, yes, Allison Kemp,
I'll abstain.
okay.
You can't abstain.
Oh.
You don't have a personal interest in the...
Do I want it? Yes.
Okay. Village votes yes.
Ed Wakefield,
Yes.
thank you.
Wait, should I vote yes?
Would you like to?
Did she understand she was voting on, she's bringing lunch and dinner for us next time? Okay.
Volunteered me for all.
I get the point. I got the point, but you take the helm, unless you got a personal interest in the agenda item.
The motion carried.
Motion carried, okay. Very, very good. Linda, is it pertaining to something that you want to...
I just want to make sure that Aaron is going to address or have the conversation with the lawyer.
Yeah, good point, Saul.
I don't want to call him and then him call him.
Yeah, so Secretary McDonald.
I think we need 2 more signs for each bridge, because if we post them at the nearest intersections where people might get on or off the trail, that's fine, but by the time if somebody gets to the bridge, I think there should be something at the bridge that also says no vehicle traffic.
So we need 8, because you would need 1 in each end of the bridge, and then 1 at each end of the road. So you need, for each bridge, you would need 4 signs, so we need a total of 8 signs. Okay.
And Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Just a suggestion, if for future reference, when they come in and ask for permission to use the trailway for their equipment and things, that's when we need to make sure they understand their new requirements.
These are where they're at.
Yeah.
Kevin, you had your hand up?
Well, I guess I'm just a little confused because the only vehicles that are allowed on the trail are authorized vehicles. And off the roads, at the entrance at each site where the trail is, there's signs. It's basically say, they have a whole list of rules, and they basically say no unauthorized. So aren't we confusing, somebody sitting there going about the, they're in their truck and they're going, well, why does it say no trucks, but it says I can't go on it, but this almost says I can, I just can't go over this bridge. Aren't we kind of redundant? Aren't we covered anyway? And what you just brought up, if indeed an authorized vehicle is going to go on the trail, they have to have access permission, and at that time that can be brought up anyway? I'm just trying to, do we need to spend that money on those signs? That's my question.
Well, our problem is utility companies don't tell us. They just start driving down the road, and when they crash through the bridge, maybe they're going to sue us because we didn't tell them that the bridge wasn't safe. Because I see the tree trimming guys and the cable and the electric company, they're all going down. They use it all the time, and they don't tell us at all. They just figure it's a great access point. So.
If they see the sign, are they going to not go over the bridge?
Well, then the liability becomes their liability, not ours.
Thanks.
Yeah, it would increase our protection from liability or litigation on that. Okay, we're going to move on. I kind of sidetracked the council there on that. Next one is a protocol structure placement on the Polygon Trail. This essentially is the picnic tables, benches, and trash can policy, and Secretary McDonald took on this exercise, and this is what's been presented in the packet for consideration of approval. For the most part, the language is pretty much the same as what's existing in a couple items. Well, I'm going to let Secretary McDonald take it over.
Well, if you had a chance to look over the document, it's still several pages long. However, it puts the three major concerns about the equipment or maintenance and donations, etc., in one policy rather than broken up over three different policies. So it's a draft. So I welcome any questions or changes or suggestions.
Treasurer Steele.
Well, thanks, Mike, for doing that. And then I glanced over it. It seemed like the verbiage was the same, or did you change some of the verbiage on the actual? It looked like it was like word for word.
Literally all three of them were drafted the same as the initial policy. And because they are subject name different, they're different pieces of equipment, it seemed rather unworkable and confusing to try and do all three with just one protocol. You'd be having to refer back to one, am I doing a picnic table, am I doing a bench, etc. So I just figured keep it this way. It would be the bench, the picnic table, the trash can, and whatever else we want to do in the future. They'd be in that one policy. But I know what you're saying. I did try to do that, and that's why I've gotten it to you so late. It was just so unworkable for me to do it. Somebody better with language or semantics, they're welcome to give it a shot.
So the words are the same from like the previous into
Yeah.
okay,
The actual policies themselves are pretty much,
Just-
I think they're the word for word, but it's the preface and the index that are, at least we're not stating in each one why we're doing
Right.
what we're doing. So.
Thank you.
So, anybody else comment? I have a couple comments on this, on the bench policy, item number 10. When a member community assembles or installs, has anybody done that, Linda?
No, it's just me.
Just you. So, you're not a member community, but you are an independent contractor. So those fees, if you assemble that, shouldn't that fee go back to you?
Well, because I'm an independent contractor, I just lump that under my monthly.
For your duties as, you consider it under the contract, so maybe that's something to consider on the next contract. But as far as the approved fee by the Polygon Trail Management Council, have we set that fee, or is it $100?
That was set as $100.
$100, so that's it, okay. All right.
That basically covers, it's like an hour and a half to assemble, and then, 50 pounds of cement. I get the post for free, and then just schlep it out and stick it in the ground wherever it goes.
Okay.
It covers it, but just barely.
Then on item 12 about a letter, certificate of appreciation, who drafts that letter, who signs it, and who sends it?
Historically, it's been me. I send it in like, you know, a little thank you card, you know, just like, it's an actual, you know, card, thank you, thank you for your bench donation, thank you for your picnic table. Sometimes if they request like our tax ID number for tax purposes, I'll put a letter. I think you've signed a couple, but historically I have to sign
That's why I'm
them.
bringing it up.
Yeah, I've historically signed it, but now I'm making you sign them.
And it says it'll be done at a meeting.
Oh,
And I don't know that we've done that.
We probably did it the first couple times, but since then, it's been just, we hand it over to the manager to manage.
Yeah, so I have no problem recognizing them, but do you want that in there?
It's up to the council.
Part of the meeting?
I think we could take it out.
Take it out?
Free up Linda a little bit.
Okay. Consensus right now of one is to take it out. So we'll take it out. Item 12, we're taking out the recognition, after installation, donors will be recognized with a certificate of appreciation letter, and there'll be a period. And we'll take out at Polygon Trailway Management Council meeting. Treasurer Steele.
Curtis, do you think that it would be time to maybe say a $200 administrative fee? I mean, that doesn't even cover the hours that we pay for her to go, you know, on the gas.
Well, for me, it's a moot point because the person, the donator, is the one paying the fee.
Right.
So you just bump that fee up
Right.
$100 more, and it'll go back to the assembler.
Right.
In this case, Linda.
you know, and I mean, $100 covers it right now, but just barely.
If the gas goes up 20 more cents a gallon, you won't even be able to cover your expenses. I would
That might happen
like
before we
to
walk out of here.
bump that up. Right.
They just raised it to 62.5
Yep.
starting July 1st.
Yeah, for the reimbursement.
Yeah.
I'd like to make that change to,
To $200,
Yes.
which would be item number 9.
and is it in all three of them?
I don't think so, because this is the bench versus the picnic table. I don't know, the picnic table, there is not a price. It just says the price of the picnic table donation includes sponsorship, marker, assembly, and installation. So that might need to be noted in there as well.
All three?
But item 10 on the picnic table indicates the member community. So maybe that needs to be changed too. Because if the member community isn't assembling it and their trail manager is,
And historically, the trail manager's always been the one that has dealt with those.
Yeah, that, I think when it was first adopted, the discussion is if the local community wants to do it on their section of the trail, that would be who they'd get paid, or they'd be reimbursed. But nobody has elected to do that. So, and frankly, I don't want it, my community doesn't want to do it, so.
Linda does a great job at it.
I have a technique.
I would like to propose to have $200 administrative fee and have the manager coordinate all three, the garbage can, the bench, and the picnic table, and adjust that in each item.
okay, so
And I'll go along with that.
we need verbiage in there that instead of the member community, that the trail manager of the Polygon Trailway Management Council, at the council's direction, shall be assigned the duty of the assembly and installation of the item.
At a cost
Because,
of $200.
because it'd be trash can, picnic table, or bench.
Mr. Chair, each item would be $200 separate?
Yes, yes, for,
The trash cans are the worst ones.
so any other changes or anything? Well, I think what we'll need to do here is, let's put the changes in, bring it back in August, and that way everybody had another chance to look at it, maybe have other ideas, and that way you can see a final draft copy versus approving something now that you may not be first on or agree with.
On item 13, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
The list of the donations will be kept in the Trailway office. Can we put those online? Because realistically, how often, I mean,
Online,
How often am I there?
On
No.
the website?
on our website, yeah.
Oh, the list of donors?
Yeah, instead of in the office, because I think,
Yeah, that office, you might not find them.
Is it on there now, Linda?
On the website? No. No. I have the list, and I have the placement of each item on the trail, where it is, who donated it, and to the best of my knowledge, the date that it was donated.
But not on the website.
Not on the website,
Okay,
but
so-
I can have Pittsburgh put it on the website.
Before you do that, find out what they're gonna charge us. Because as you and I discussed, they tended to have a high price. We may need to look at an alternative web hosting company actually,
They're not the
Charges.
host. They're not the host. They're the
whatever they do.
maintenance webmaster, I guess you'd say.
Mr. Chair? Do we need to consult the donor to see if they want their name posted? A lot of people like to do things anonymously. How would you want to handle
I
that?
hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, so,
Most people that have donated, what I've done is listed the name of the person it was, or group that it was donated in, like Maple Grove Bed and Breakfast. You know, if you walk out on the trail, you know who donated it. You know, we have Diane
Don't walk out the trail.
Wood. If you walk out there, you know where it came from. So that's, I don't know.
My meeting, so crap.
okay, so there's no objection from council. We'll bring this back at our August meeting because we don't meet in July unless we have a special meeting or council votes to meet in July. But we'll have some of the changes that we discussed here today. And then, I guess, Linda, if you want to check into the donor list on the website, and if in fact the people that have donated want their name on the website, we can take that exercise and get that wrapped up. Anything else?
I have one more.
Go ahead, Dinah.
The Paint Creek decided that when they become junk, that whoever donated them, that has the option to buy another one, and then they can put their plaque again on the new one. And if they don't want to, then whoever's on the list, because we have a list of 20 donors, and we'll get there in the Polygon, and you don't want junk out there. So as soon as you determine that it's junk, it's time for them to go, and if they want to pay another $1,200 to have a new bench out there, they can, with their new plaque, and if they don't, we pick the next person.
Now, do you have these policies on the Paint Creek? So if we could get a hold of those, maybe we can
They're on the
incorporate.
website.
On the okay.
Is it okay? Yeah. We just updated it to reflect that.
And we have our policies on the website too, but of course, you know, once we update, they'll have to update.
All right, so Secretary McDonald, do you want to do this? You want some assistance with this?
I'll give it a try. I mean, this should be pretty straightforward compared to what it was.
We have it on tape or on the cable broadcast, so that'll give you a little bit of food for thought.
Okay.
Anything else to add? If not, then if your thoughts come along the way between now and August, forward those to myself or Secretary McDonald, we'll get those incorporated. Okay, we're moving on to new business. Our only item under new business is an event request for the Glow Bike Ride. And Linda, I'm going to hand this off to you to give an update to council on what you have to offer us before we hand it off to the...
I was contacted by Miss Amanda here, so if you would like her to explain what they would like to do, you have the event request.
Yeah, in the packet, what I put in there was just the event request, but I had no other detail to give.
So this is Miss Amanda.
Hi. So,
Amanda?
we're just a group of parents, and we're working with the school and the Resiliency Center to put together some summer activities for the students. You know, we all know it's very important that they stay together and participate in therapeutic, positive things throughout this summer. It helps in their trauma healing, and the counselors are all on board for this. So our first event, we propose to be the Glow Bike Ride along Polygon. We would start at White Pine, ride to the library where we would have water and Gatorade and some snacks for the kids, and then ride back and do a photo over the bridge. So we just started doing it right now on Facebook. I have to imagine, a little wishful thinking about 100 will participate in this. And It's one of many. We have the Hub in Auburn Hills. They're donating a full afternoon of football bowling. We have Lions Bear Lake Camp in Lapeer. They're donating 4 whole days for the kids to go and participate in, zip lining, rock climbing, all that stuff at no cost to us. And so we've had a lot of really generous people kind of step up so that we can get this summer schedule filled. But being that we started a couple weeks ago, this June 17th one was hoping to be our first one. I did get word from Tom Donnelly just a couple hours ago that his church, Firmly Rooted, will sponsor this so that they can extend their liability coverage to us. So that was awesome news.
It's totally nonprofit, correct?
Oh yeah, we're not, so at this point, once I speak with his insurance agent, Firmly Rooted will be the official sponsor, I guess, if you will, of the event, and it's all of us parents who are donating everything to run it and other future events that we're hoping to have 1 or 2 a week throughout the entire summer. So at this point, I did the paperwork because
Yes.
I was thinking that our worst case scenario was that I was going to have to take the policy out on my homeowners and cover this because we wanted it to move forward, no matter what we had to do. So if I need to change the paperwork in any way, let me know. But like I said, Firmly Rooted's insurance provider will be extending coverage.
They'll be on there, and then you've been through this, the Polygon Trailway Management Council's additional assured on the policy.
And the DNR, correct? That's what I've told them.
Yep, and the DNR.
So he's supposed to call me this afternoon to wrap that up.
Now, as far as the parking for the participants, where is that anticipated?
So we were thinking that we would use that lot the empty lot right by White Pine, but most of us will be riding up there on our bikes.
Okay.
So there won't be a lot of vehicles. The only vehicle, I'm going to bring mine to the library just to set up some coolers with ice and water for the kids. But we're thinking that the majority won't even be bringing vehicles.
Yeah.
And we do also have some first responders participating. They'll be leading the ride on bikes.
Okay.
So,
One of my concerns is that, in our brochure, it says trails open during daylight hours only. So you're looking at 8:30 to 10 o'clock, and you're at the peak time of daylight.
9:48 was what I read online for dusk. So if we have to end it at 9:48, we're happy to do so.
Just a concern, for safety and crossing Burdick Street right there, even though you have the signal, some people.
Yeah, we'll be past Burdick well before then.
Okay. Are you going down and back or just down?
We're going from White Pine to the library, stopping there for drinks and snacks and the glow bracelets and things like that for the kids to put on their bikes and themselves, and then heading straight back.
Right.
So, we've ridden it many times with my family, and, that it's definitely not more than an hour.
All right. So, Councilor Kemp.
So to be clear, I do want this event to go forward, but I do have a couple of concerns.
Sure.
I think that we're going to need to, realistically, we're not going to make the neighbors all that happy, unfortunately. I think that there's...
Why would that be? Because of the lateness, or what?
Because of the lateness, and I think we've had some characters on that section of the trail who have had some complaints about the trail in general. Looking at the Facebook group or the Facebook post, you have Bluetooth speakers listed. Are you going to be playing music on the trail or just at the library?
We were thinking just at White Pine and Library, just some kind of...
Okay, so it's not...
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I would volunteer to do this. So I'm not saying, I'm not trying to put any roadblocks in your way. But I think we are going to need some volunteers the next day to go through and clean up.
Right, so we've already thought about that. Myself, my husband, and a couple other parent volunteers, we already have a plan for having flashlights and being my husband rides this one-wheel thing, and it has this light, and his helmet has a light, and so he's going to go in the back and make sure as a sweep that we pick up everything. We have our volunteers stationed at the library who are going to make sure that everything remains the way that we found it. There will be no trash or anything like that. We already have plenty of volunteers who've stepped up to help us with that, because we do know how important that is.
And we've received insurance from Firmly Rooted before for they used to do the Easter egg hunt.
I believe so.
Okay.
So we did mention that they did some sort of run on the Polygon, and that his insurance agent said it should be no problem to do the same coverage. And then again, if that falls through from now until Thursday, I will purchase it myself for $300 and get the insurance.
So on the application, there's no organization. Should Firmly Rooted be the organization, or are you going to handle that, Amanda?
I guess you tell me guidance on that, how you would like it. My only...
Why don't we sponsor it?
Okay.
Why don't we sponsor it? That way our...
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the comment.
Oh, applicant, like Firmly Rooted, and then have Amanda as a contact person?
Yeah, that was my thinking, but I really didn't know.
We have done events with them before in the past, and we've never had a problem with them. They've always had insurance, and they've always been, we've never had a problem with them.
Secretary McDonald.
It just occurred to me that if there is a failure to find a liability sponsor, Trail we could be an associate sponsor, and that way there wouldn't be any delays or costs personally, and it would be our contribution to the run, if that would be something your group would entertain.
We would absolutely love that. I think it's a really great event for the community and for the kids that need to participate, and we would be very appreciative, absolutely, having our community step in and sponsor and agree with this.
Got a question?
Yeah. Vice Chair.
I agree with Mike, but would that be in a separate motion unrelated to this? Because one would be this giving permission, and then the second motion would be for Polygon Trail Management Council to sponsor the insurance. Is that the way it would work, or would you?
It can be. It can be all in one motion. Either one will work as far as I'm concerned. My concern is that if you do it for this event, what happens for future events?
Well, I think this is a rather unique opportunity with a special purpose because of a special situation, and
well, Mike
let's face it,
as
the
a
whole
donation.
every community has had the signs and everything else up. So what's the Polygon Trail Council going to do? This is our singular, my proposal is a singular sponsorship to make sure that this happens, and that it happens the way we like it to happen, with the proper liability and safety considerations in place.
So I would suggest whoever's making the motion to include that in the motion, that it's an event that is not, it stands on its own. It's not to be, it would be on a case-by-case basis on the Polygon Trailway Management Council of co-sponsoring events.
Would that be a fallback that we would sponsor it, or are we saying we are going to sponsor it?
Right now, as I understand, we will be the co-sponsor on this.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
What does this mean for extra workload for Linda then? Would there be any work with this, or just
it would be a
sponsor
phone-
on paper?
It would just be a phone call to Keith. It would just be a phone call to Keith to make sure that we're covered and let him know the event. They would cover our insurance, and I would not be at the event. I mean, we wouldn't, to my knowledge, have a representative for the council at the event.
If that's
I can go.
agreeable with
then-
the applicant, then I don't have a problem with it.
And Allison said she can go. So she would be she would be our representative. Yay.
Okay, so we have essentially two items on not motion-wise, but on the floor to consider is approval of the event, number one. Number two is if you as a council member are in favor of co-sponsoring this event. And that, in my opinion, should be on a standalone basis. that it doesn't, the next person in line knows they have to get permission from council. They can't just assume that it's already automatically approved. Councilor Watley.
I'll make a motion to approve the event, and if firmly rooted falls through as a co-sponsor, the Polygon Trail Management Council will step in to assist with insurance.
Support.
Okay.
Can I
Motion by Councilor Wiley, second by Treasurer Steele, to approve the event, and also with the Polygon Trail Management Council being a co-sponsor to the event. Vice Chair Brakefield.
I'd like to request that one change on the motion, that after the ride would clean up to be completed no later than Saturday, June the 18th.
I'll amend my motion.
Support them, men.
Okay, we have an amended motion on the floor to have cleanup. You said by 7 a.m.?
Yes.
7 a.m., so you have to get up really early.
We'll have it done that evening.
And you can clean it anytime between 5 and 7 in the morning.
Okay, any further comments on this agenda? Okay, if not, amended motion first, it will be a roll call vote. Secretary McDonald to approve the cleanup for 7 a.m. on June 18th.
Okay, everybody familiar with the motion? Then
Yep.
the Donnie Steele,
Yes.
Aaron Watley,
Yes.
Curtis Wright,
Yes.
Jonathan Knoll,
Yes.
Mike McDonald, yes. Allison Kemp,
Yes.
Ed Brakefield,
Yes.
Bruce Pearson.
Yes.
Did I get Donnie?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
I was
sorry,
number-
John.
I was the first one.
Okay, so that motion carries. Now on the original motion to approve the event and the Polygon Trail Management Council to be a co-sponsor on the event itself. So Secretary McDonald, if you can call the roll on that, please.
Okay. Aaron Watley,
Yes.
Curtis Wright,
Yes?
Jonathan Knoll,
Yes.
Mike McDonald, yes. Allison Kemp,
Yes.
Ed Brakefield,
Yes.
Bruce Pearson,
Yes.
Donnie Steele.
Yes.
The motion carried.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay, Amanda.
very much.
Thank you for
Thank you.
coming out.
Have a nice
Appreciate that.
weekend with them.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited.
And I'll keep in touch on it for the August.
Linda, you'll follow up on all this to keep us on the up and up?
Yeah, I'll make sure we're legit.
Okay, with that, our business is completed for the day. Public comment. Amanda, you want to comment from the public before you leave?
I just want to say thank you very much. Thank you for your support. And, you know, it's really awesome how much we have outside of the community, but it's also so nice to hear within our community how willing you are to help and encourage these kids in these events because it will be important. It will. The next 6 months are very important.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Council member comments, starting with Councilor Watley.
Go swimming if you can today. No, keep up the nice work out there. That's it. Happy summer.
Treasurer Steele.
Well, we had an assistant manager that lasted 2 weeks on the Paint Creek Trail, so if anybody wants a part-time job and they're...
2 weeks? What did you do?
1 month. No, yeah, that's,
So we have a job opening.
we have a job, part-time, yeah.
All right. For that, details are on the website?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thanks.
Details on the website.
No poaching.
You know what, that's becoming rampant lately. That's not good.
Vice Chair Brakefield.
If anybody wants to help Bruce pick up his motorcycle, then it's something we can probably- No, good meeting. Thank you.
Yeah. Councilor Pearson.
No comment.
Secretary McDonald.
Everybody stay safe until we meet again.
Councilor Knoll.
No comment, thank you.
Councilor Kemp.
Have a good summer break, everyone. See you in 2 months.
Yeah, we're not meeting in July, right?
We're not meeting July. We didn't get over quick. Yeah. Yeah, we'll send it out to Kevin.
Same thing, you'll see everyone in August.
Okay. Let's see, I'm going to go with me and then you, Linda, because you might be able to answer some of my questions. Let's see here. Wham is no longer, correct?
It's dead. I mean, I don't foresee it coming back,
Okay.
period.
All right. How did the trail day go, Donnie, for the Pink Creek?
It was extraordinarily organized and well-staffed and well-exposed, but the the people didn't come out that day
Yeah.
in the morning. So I don't think that we should do such a big event on Trail Day in the future, but.
All right, and that doesn't pertain to our birthday celebration.
No, I think that's fine. At the end of the summer, I think it's going to be good. And we had it for 6 hours, which was silliness. Done in 2 hours or less is, I think, better for the world.
And would that work well for us on our council, do you think, to try to do this?
I think, oh yeah, I think it's a great, and I actually advertised it on my buck slip for the tax bill, so we're already starting to advertise it. So
Oh,
we need to have
okay.
something on the website.
Which I'm working on. Okay, I have.
Pathway Church, is that a dead issue?
I have not heard from him, and when you say that word, I'm concerned where he might be. Pastor, I have not, I actually called, his phone was disconnected, I called the church and I couldn't get through, and I called his wife and I couldn't get through.
Wow.
I have not seen his car or him at that church in several months. So, and I keep my eye open.
How's the Rotary Park doing?
The Rotary Park is absolutely fantastic. We had Cindy from Designs by Cindy, and she brought her 3 young, fabulous crew guys to come out, and we had a mom and a son volunteer come out, so it was like 7 of us. We rocked it. I was a little concerned because they didn't really show up till like 10:30. I was a little not happy, I was concerned that it was just going to be, a couple of us. They showed up, we got it all done, we planted so many plants. Home Depot has stepped up and given us $5,700 to make the garden happen. We've got more fence on order, we've got more plants on order, we have planting rings on order. I'm going to go pick up on Friday. Donnie saw it, it's beautiful. It really is taking shape. I've planted more flowers since Donnie was out there. I think it's going to be something really nice.
And they're going to continue the upkeep on that?
Yes, yeah. And
Restrooms are in place?
restrooms are in place and people are singing the praises of the toilets.
The archway sign, dead issue?
I just haven't, it's on a list, but it's low on the list. So if I ever get 20 minutes, I'll...
So just get some great stuff, fill the holes?
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to do. Yeah.
So it keeps the environments out.
Yeah.
On that there. The culvert for the beavers, is that resolved or what's going on there?
No, the water level is way down. Once they did the renovation on Scripps Road, the water level is the lowest I've seen it in probably 3 years. It is still jammed. I was actually thinking this weekend I would go out there because the water's warmer now and put the waders on and go in there because the water level's low enough. I have a call out to Superior Excavating. I have a call out to Mike Parks. I have a call out to another gentleman that does excavating to get a price to replace that culvert. As of today, I have heard from none of these people. So it's pending. So hopefully in August we'll have something. If we don't disturb the actual dirt and the substructure, we don't have to pull permits from Eagle. We can do it with riprap to hold material on one side so it doesn't escape on the other side, so we can do it with riprap without having to pull permits through Eagle. There's a lot of different things, so there's a lot of permits we're going to have to do on this one.
But is Crisp Road back open?
Not really, because Orion Township is now paving part of Scripps Road.
Is that right?
Yeah, so it's still closed.
Well, that'll solve it.
Yeah, well, only paving it part of the way. So Scripps is just kind of Scripps is a holding pattern for right now.
And you're aware of the tough water this weekend?
I was not. I know it was coming up, but I was not aware it was this weekend. I have talked to a couple of the gentlemen that were setting up out there, but I didn't know it was this weekend.
Yeah, so, okay, other than that, there's some more, but I'm gonna let you finish up the meeting here, and,
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Okay,
Everybody-
hurry, go,
everybody fall over here yet?
I got nothing.
go.
I need a motion to
I'd
adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I got a motion by Councilor Pearson, second by Vice Chair Brayfield to adjourn at
Everybody run out at one
50
time.
p.m. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.